Forza Horizon 5 has a bunch of serious cars, but what if you want to drive something that's a little bit silly? Well, that is why I am here with this video, so 4,000 likes is the target as per usual, as if you don't hit that button then you are a very silly boy, or girl, or they, them, I don't know, you're just silly, okay, you're just silly. And hello, it is I, and let's get into this video. Now the Honda CRX is a very cool car, but there's something very silly about this car in Forza. Because you can actually install this very silly looking bumper on the front of the car, this very silly looking bumper on the back of the car, also a very silly looking wing on the rear of the car, and that's not the silliest part because where is the side skirts? And yep, now you have a very silly looking car from the back, from the front, and especially from the side. I mean, look at that. What is that? What's going on, mate? And that's why this car's in this video, because this car is indeed very silly. Now K.I.T.T from Knight Rider is a very cool car. Now you might be thinking, oh, there's no way this car can be silly, right? I mean, the only silly thing about this car is the yoke steering wheel and the crazy cockpit, and you know, that's kind of silly. But did you know that you can actually make this car a lot sillier? Well, you could, because if you go to conversions, go to body kits, you can actually install this. Yep, now this already looks very silly, but believe it or not, this car gets even sillier, because when you smash your foot on the brakes, yeah, this car turns into a Dilophosaurus. Is that how you pronounce it? Dilophosaurus? I don't know. You know that dinosaur with the flaps on his head, yeah? Which like sprays ink on that guy's face in Jurassic Park 1, yeah? That guy, that dinosaur, yeah? It's basically that. It's scary. And yeah, that's why this car's in this video, because when you smash on the brakes, this car turns very silly. Very silly indeed. Now the E46 BMW M3 sounds like a V6. Yep, they still have the wrong sound file for this car. But yeah, it's very silly that they haven't fixed the sound of this car, but that's not the only silly thing about this car. Because if I go to install a wide body kit, not this one, but this one, look at that, it comes with a wing. Now you might be thinking, oh, there's already a wing on this car, there's nowhere they'll let me replace that wing, and you're right, they wouldn't. Instead, well, you can actually add another wing onto the car. Yep, this is crazy. And just like that, I'm driving a double wang car. Look at that. Now that is very silly. Now this is a good silly Forza, so please don't patch this, even though it's broken. Please don't patch it, because you know what, once in a while you gotta have funny glitches like this, and you gotta keep them. Because patch the car sound, please, but don't patch the wing. It's very nice. Now everybody loves the Reliant Supervan in Forza, like it's such a fan favorite car. And the reason why we love this car so much is because there's a bunch of tunes you can get on this car, which makes this car rather silly. I mean, let's have a look. There you go, Rolling Car 1. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. And now this car is... yeah. Oh my god, oh my god. Jesus, sorry about that, whoever owns offense, and I cannot drive. Like, this car's... what's going on? I'm not holding the accelerator. I'm literally not holding the accelerator, and that's why this car's in this video, because this car is very silly. Yeah. Now on the Mark 1 Ford Focus, you can only install hoods like these ones, and also spoilers. Yep, these are the only aftermarket parts on the car. I mean, you can install a Forza splitter, but I don't really count these as aftermarket. So yeah, you can only install wings and hoods, which makes this car look very racery. But that is not the weirdest part about this car, because this car is very front heavy, meaning... yep, the rear wheels lift up when you take sharp corners. Now let's take the sharp corner to the left, and... it makes my car do a drift, basically. It's so weird. And that's why this car's in this video, because the way it looks and the way it drives is very silly. Now if you looked at this car, you'd think to yourself, oh, that's a really cool looking sports car, and then when you zoom out, you'd be like, oh, that's a very tiny looking car, mate. And yeah, it's a very tiny looking car, and it's a very silly looking car, but that is not the only reason it's in this video. Because if you go to conversions, you can actually install a crazy engine like a 2JZ, and you can actually max out that engine until it produces 1,270 horsepower. Yep, that is crazy for a car this light. And all that power in a car this light creates one of the most undrivable cars in the game. Yeah, this car is very undrivable. Let me get onto the road. Yeah, we got traction. Oh, no we don't. But yeah, this car is so undrivable and it's very silly. Oh my days, car. into the bins. Now the Holden Sandman is a very underrated car in this game because you can actually install surfboards onto it, turn it into a ute, install a blower, and even install roo bars. Yep, these, my friends, are called roo bars, and they are designed for absolutely decimating kangaroos, mate. And these roo bars, mate, they look very silly indeed, especially with a blower on the front of the hood, mate, or the bonnet, or the hood, or I don't know how you call it. But yeah, it's a very silly looking part, and it does make the car look very silly overall, and that's why it's in this video, because this is a very silly car. It's a very silly looking car right now. Now, if you looked at the GMC Jimmy, you'd think to yourselves, oh, this isn't a very silly looking car, it just has a silly name. But let me tell you, with the right tune, you can actually make this car very, very silly. All you need to go is go to tuning, and yep, the first tune that comes up is by AR12 called Reverse Wheelie. And believe it or not, this tune makes your car do a reverse wheelie. Who would have thought? And that is very silly. Now let's reverse wheelie into the plains. Yeah, okay, that's called karma. Oh, and this car has a normal wheelie tune as well. Now let's test this out. Yeah, oh my god, that's the craziest wheelie I've ever done in Forza. So yeah, this car is a very aggressive wheelie car. It's so weird, it's so silly, I love it, oh my days. Now I don't know if it's cheating to include this car in this video, but oh my days, this car is a very silly car indeed. Because not only is the size of this car crazy, like it's a monster truck, it's going to be massive, but you can actually do really cool things with this car as well. For example, it has 4-wheel steering, so you could do the craziest donuts. I mean, look at this is crazy. Anyways, you can also do these like barrel rolls across the ground, which is very weird looking, but you sometimes don't land it, so forget I said that. But my favorite thing about this car is the fact that you can do backflips. Look at this. Okay, that was nearly a backflip. But yeah, this car's so silly. I absolutely love this. Now, the only way you can actually drive this car is by completing the showcase event, and I think it's available on some races, I believe. But yeah, this is a very silly car, and I really wish that they'd allow us to drive this from free run, because oh my days, I would love that. Now, you cannot make a video about silly. Oh my god, that's huge. Oh my days, that scared me. Anyways, you cannot make a video about silly cars without talking about this, the Pill P50. And yeah, man, this is a very silly car. It rocks a lot, and when you turn the car, the front wheels lift up. It's very funny. And when you rev the car kind of rocks side to side. But once you engine swap this car rocks a lot more, because that is absolutely crazy. And it gets even crazier when you drive this car, because yep, all that power is like 200 horsepower to the rear wheels of the car, which are like mini tykes, little tykes, whatever those. It's like such tiny wheels, man. I'm gonna take this corner fourth. Throttle, man, you dead. Hey, oh my days, oh my god, oh my god, oh my Super Mario. That would have hurt.